Skandar here for the Bishop Buzz, and in this episode we are going to hear from two residents in southern Inyo County. That's right, we're going to hear from somebody in Olancha and Darwin on how they feel about living in such rugged environments and some of the challenges and some of the issues that are currently in their communities. So let's jump right in.
I love just the beauty. I love the expanse. I love the privacy. I love that, you know, the bushes, the critters, everything about it, the mountains. I mean, everything that makes this place unique is what I love. I don't know if it's direct inspiration, but probably indirect, because the expanse just makes it easier for my mind to relax and to, you know, look inward, and it's just a calming that the environment affords me. So yeah, I don't look at the mountains and want to paint them or make them, you know. It's I look at them and I just, you know, I see other things and I feel other things. And then the challenge is I live off the grid, so my challenge is to maintain the systems in this really harsh environment with you know 80 to 100 mile an hour winds and heat and cold and pipes bursting and in the winter time. And yeah, it's challenging for sure. And I would like to get that dumpster back. I'd really like to get that big dumpster back that was taken from us, and the sign, you know, written in a black marker in this really kind of arrogant way, telling us, the citizens of Olancha, that if we dump here without that dumpster, if we choose to dump, then this whole facility will be closed. And I'm just wondering, you know, we're paying a lot of taxes, and not that much is coming back in terms of just basic conveniences. And I think community involvement, I mean, it's just a decent thing to do, to ask people who live here and have to live with the consequences that are decided somewhere else. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, and it certainly doesn't make us feel comfortable about the county. Make people matter.
My name is Kathy Goss, and I live in Darwin. This dome is sitting in downtown Darwin, and it's used for an acoustic music space and meeting space. And that's one of the things I like about living here in the county, is especially out in the hinterlands in Darwin, we're pretty much free to do whatever we want. I originally started coming to Inyo County decades ago. And I sometimes think, Inyo County, I don't really identify with being in Inyo County or the Eastern Sierra. We're so far away from the center of activity in the county, but that's one of the interesting things about it, is that we are far away, and yet we are part of the culture of the county. And we have not as much influence on what goes on in the county as some of the closer in areas. Yeah, well, the challenges out here, of course, are that you have to drive 40 miles to buy a quart of milk or to get a gallon of gas. You have to plan ahead, certainly a lot better than I ever did when I lived in San Francisco, where I could just run down the street to Chinatown and buy some cheap vegetables or a fish. And here you have to really plan. And the choice of produce and food in general in Lone Pine, I will say, is not the best. So part of the challenge was we wanted to be able to grow our own food here in Darwin, and it took a couple of years to organize a community garden, which was done with the help of Amaka, and later on from Metabolic Studio also. So it was a miraculous thing that we now have a beautiful garden pursuing. One is, leave us alone. We want to do our own thing. We don't want the sheriff coming out here. We don't have any government. You know, this is essentially a renegade community. We don't want you telling us how high our fences can be or whether we can have junk in our yards. We want to be left alone. We don't want codes coming down on us. We don't want enforcement of these things. On the other hand, please, we want your services. We don't want you to take away our dumpsters. It would be very nice if we could get broadband internet out here, and one way or the other we will, but we're not going to have as much as you have closer in.
All right, this is Skandar for the Bishop Buzz, and I'll see you on the next segment.